sweet baby Jesus. Where do we begin? Where did we possibly begin? And what was a damn great day all around? But not before. We'll get into what happened yesterday afterwards. So therefore, I will try my best to just explain to you in a brief recap of what actually happened today and what went down, and being mindful about it, and what and all this other stuff, and you know explain how much fun we had today, and then we will do the new format of our Spurs and game reviews and NASCAR race reviews. Sometimes combine them both, cause damn. So today, we went to Target. We stacked them up like Kenny Wallace with our Coca-Cola, as expected. But here's the thing, though. All the Coke I bought, some of them almost didn't make it home because I was trying to sacrifice 2 6-packs of baby bottles. No, 2 6-packs. One baby, 1 16-ounce for some game show buzzers. I was going to transfer into some of the Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy board games so we could use them for toss-up puzzles on Wheel, and the lecterns on Jeopardy, like the buzzers on Jeopardy, like the singling ones on Jeopardy, which are clickers, but the clickers have no purpose. Like they did, like I didn't think of it too much when I did this as a kid with my family off camera, but for YouTube purposes, the clickers have no purpose. Not even if we Wheel of Fortune toss-up puzzles. So therefore, we're replacing them with real buzzers. But I didn't have enough money for everything at once. I had enough money for the Coke, barely, but I would have had enough money for the buzzers if I would have just bought that by itself. But to combine them both, yeah, I did not have enough. So the buzzers had to go back. And shout out to that sweet girl, Brittany, for helping me out. She's like the next Kara Coolbog. So shout out to you, Kara. We sure miss you over there. And, I'm friends with you. I hope that Brittany can be the same good friend that you once were to me when you were there. Because she was amazing. And the lady that worked at the customer service, or I wouldn't say lady, that's a poor choice of words. That young girl, Megan, they both got to meet my other half. And I ran into Courtney Tanner, my former regular from Taco Bell, from the one down the street from my house that my mom and I vowed to never go to again after a bad experience. I think it was a year ago. Yeah, it was a year ago. Yeah, it was last summer during the 2024 Sandy Ridge Redemption, but it was good to see you. Sadly, ever since you left, that Taco Bell has gone down the toilet. So it's not the same without you. I love Taco Bell as the next guy, but as long as, I am never going back to that one particularly again. After we have so many great memories there with you, I'm going to miss it, but not the shitty management there. So, the post-Courtney Tanner era. So, therefore, I will save the buzzers for another time. If I happen to go back to Target in my own time before Easter, then I'll treat that as my own Easter gift. And be on the lookout for an Easter haul. I'll still do Easter presents every once in a while, but the one thing I'll never do again is, now that I'm an adult, is Easter baskets. So screw the Easter baskets. I'll do occasional Easter presents, but oh my god, yeah. And so when we got back, it basically turned into a date for my girlfriend and I. We were not intending it to make it that way, but it was, and I'm not going to say any more details that happened. I'm just trying to make it as brief as possible. We're going to get into the good stuff. And then we got home. Well, not got home. We got on the bus to go home, and we were dropping one of my coworkers off. And I happened to be friends with his sister since before COVID and before ViaQuest in 2019, Isabella Corley, and we got to reunite 6 years later since June 14, 2019. We did see each other before version 3 of Night of the Century back in October, but that didn't really count because it was so early in the morning. I was like half asleep and was out of it and was in no mood to do get up and go move around and do anything. So therefore, yeah, it was good to have a first true encounter since then. So I miss you, Bella, and yeah, overall a really great day. I couldn't ask for it any better. So now we move on to the NASCAR San Antonio doubleheader, where we start off with the Ford 400 at Homestead Miami Speedway. Overall, it was a good race, not a great race, and even then, whether it be good or great, this race proved a perfect example. In order to get either or, you don't have to require 20 cautions, a dozen wrecks, let alone a stupid winner to like have that fall in your lap. So therefore, it wasn't too many cautions, it wasn't a wreck fest. Overall, some great wheel-to-wheel racing that played out organically, no stupid BS or green-white checkered or stupidity, let alone no manufacturer drama or even a bad racing product. It was a good racing product across the board. Ryan Blaney had the dominant car, but goes to show you with that blow up, the fastest car, as in the dominant car, doesn't always win the race. It's been proven that since NASCAR started, even before I was even born, during the glory days of the 1990s and my early days watching NASCAR in the early 2000s, in the last of the Winston Cup days, and even all of Nextel, Sprint, Monster Energy. And therefore, I thought Bubba Wallace had a shot at getting his third career win, let alone his first legit full race win in the 23, since EA Sports 500 was rain shortened in 2021. And 2022, he put a full race together, but it was in Kurt's old number 45 after 2311 flip-flopped for the owner points, the teams, after Kurt's career-ending crash. So, therefore, Bowman took the lead, but unfortunately, he made a mistake which lost him the race and gave the win to his teammate, Kyle Larson, ending the winning streak of the Killer Bees in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series in 2025. And Larson was just one caution restart short of completing a clean sweep trifecta in the NASCAR Busch Series for 300 Saturday. If that idiot who spun out didn't cause that caution, or Sam Mayer wasn't a jackass, we would have seen history, even though I'm against Winston Cup leaching. But this was a rare exception.
Later that same evening,
the Spurs and the Raptors in Toronto. Oh, Jesus Christ, where do we begin with this? Because this is a fun-ass, good old-fashioned ass-beating that the Spurs delivered in what was a spicer of a game on the 26th anniversary of Livin' La Vida Loca. So with the Alien and the Fox done for the season, does this basically mean the Spurs will get lucky in the draft again for this Tankathon 3.0, or for us 2.5 and land Cooper Flagg if he decides to go to the NBA despite the minor ankle injury, to the point where we erase he that shall not be named from our history when he carries his college number over to San Antonio, if we even get him to begin with? Currently, it doesn't look that way because we've won 3 games in a row, including last night's ass whooping against the Raptors in their home base, and we are not too far from touching a play-in spot. But here's where the problem comes. Shouldn't we stay a lottery team to keep our hopes up of 50-50 chance of getting Flagg in the draft if he declares, let alone we get lucky enough to pick him? Because really, it'll be like 2021 and 22 all over again. No business being there at all whatsoever. Because one, just like in those previous 2 seasons, we'd be taking up a play-in spot from a play-in worthy team that's better than us right now. And 2, just like in 21 and 22, guess what would happen? We'd get bounced easily, especially when we don't have a chance without the Alien and Fox. So is the play-in tournament really fucking worthy? Hell no. With this team's never give up mentality / attitude, they don't think this is over with yet, considering, it's going to be a wild card game tomorrow against the Red TV's Pistons in their territory, so you just never know what's going to happen next. But for now, we got a 3-game win streak where we whooped the Raptors' ass on the 26th anniversary of Ricky Martin's Livin' La Vida Loca. Could not miss from 3-point land for over half the game, to the point where almost the whole damn time I'm screaming bang bang Tito Puente over and over and over again. And I should have known this was going to be an easy-ass game, considering as bad as we've been the last 6 years, this year's team is nothing compared to how this year's Raptors team is, considering they've been horrible and way worse than our team this year has been. So therefore, consider ourselves lucky. Sometimes rather better to be lucky than good. So therefore, Spurs tore that shit up like Terry Labonte last night. Bonus content. Look at all the upgrades I made to my room. So therefore, I'm going to focus on the Spurs ones, mainly because well, it's already in the picture, so might as well show it off. So therefore, I created a mini NASCAR museum of all the various, randomized general NASCAR diecasts. So you see that Rusty Wallace Miller Lite Youth one? and from 2002, and the Ricky Rudd 2002 Muppets Ford with Gonzo from the 2002 Tropicana 400 at Chicagoland Speedway. The rusty one's going to my neighbor, Jason Jersak. Shout out to you again, Ryan and Peyton. So therefore, next night's day, which is hopefully going to be this weekend, I will be stopping over to give that to your dad. And the Ricky Rudd one, since, Doug Bartley is the Robert Gates man, based off his friend who has a truck with the Robert Yates Racing logo on it, I figured it'd be more appropriate for him to have, since he was more in favor of the 28 than the 88. So therefore, I'm finally getting that out of my house. So here's the Spurs ones. All the retired Tim Duncan jerseys I don't use no more. The faded out modern day white one, the faded out modern day black one, and the retired, ViaQuest basketball jersey. That, since we got updated ones and changed the team name, there's an empty space right there. Eventually, I'm going to move that one to the right. And the black on black Tim Duncan, that was the Spurs in general use from Duncan's last seasons. The first year he was gone, it's going to go right there. So it's all coming together. And that does it for me, I guess. This video would have gotten finished, like in terms of recording, editing, and uploading before midnight, but I had some unexpected guests that'll hold me up on FaceTime. Manny Marcu, Living Tropical, aka the cousin of Selena Byerly, one of my best friends since 2022. Meech Curtis, I think his last name is. And Daniel Atia. Daniel Atia. Yeah, I don't know his YouTube name, but if he sees this video, just comment something, and I will subscribe to you. So therefore, but I want to take a moment to thank my cousin Nicholas Proctor for sharing this successful NASCAR San Antonio doubleheader with me yesterday. Well, technically 2 days ago, considering he wanted a shout out during the truck race in the Spurs game Friday. The Ford 200 and the Spurs played the Sixers, but we all know those plans went out the window, so we all know why the fuck that happened. So I apologize once again for that. That recap video combining the truck race and the Spurs game was going to be fire. It was probably going to be more fire than this one, because this one was a little bit more on the mellow side of things, since it was so damn late on a work night, where Friday it wasn't a work night. So therefore, there was someone else I wanted to thank too for who played a big role in this too. Oh yeah, shout out to my best friend since June 29, 2022, Henry Lutz, for that giving me lots of love the night before the Ford 400 and the Spurs Raptors. I love you, bestie. I knew I've always loved you for a reason. Gave me a shout out on TikTok, even though he tagged the second account and not the main, which he hasn't followed in a long time. My birthday twin Iki Campbell, who they're in Washington D.C. right now for their school trip. So every middle school 8th grade class goes to Washington D.C. towards the end of the season. It's like a tradition that for every 8th grade middle school class. So therefore, my part-time neighbor Shane Zachary and all their homeboys who had a hell of a video call with me in a live stream. A brief live stream during that short-lived Saturday night. So thank you all for playing a big part in this. My next video will be technically later today. It might go into Wednesday. Actually, it might go into Wednesday because of how late how long I'm going to take to work on it. But if you don't see it late Tuesday night, which is technically today, or going into early Wednesday, then you'll know why. Because the second option, best option would be late Wednesday going into early Thursday before we go to see the SAS play the Cavs here in Ohio, which will be a YouTube vlog. So there will be no Spurs game review for that reason. I might do an instant reaction on my way out in a separate video, so I have to make sure I organize the files on my phone so I'm not mixing up the instant reaction video with the whole game vlog. So therefore, we're gonna figure that out one way or another, which more likely why I won't be at work on Friday, because I'll be tired from jumping up and down and cheering my ass off, depending on how well the Spurs may not play. So have a good night tonight and a better day tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Good night, and I will see you all for the next Spurs game review sometime late Tuesday, early Wednesday, or late Wednesday going into Thursday, and then the Spurs Cavs vlog here in Ohio, which is a tradition we do. Me and my dad do every year, and then more likely an instant reaction as we're leaving the arena and heading back to the car for my dad prop me off back here for him to go back to his crib. So see you later, everyone. Go Spurs, bitch, oh mama.
Go Spurs, go!
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.